Hello students, this is class 10th, subject English, chapter 3rd, auxiliaries and modals. This chapter is given in your grammar book and this is my lecture number 1. Topics to be covered today. Today we are going to discuss these topics. First of all, we shall learn what are modals. After that, we shall learn the usage or the rules of can, could, may, might and must. And at last, we shall discuss homework solution of lecture 1 of poem 4. So let us begin with modal auxiliaries. So first of all, we should know what are auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs can be called helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs are used together with the main verb to show its tense or to form a negative or question. Auxiliary verbs are also called helping verbs and these are classified into two types: primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries. So today we are going to discuss modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries are actually used to show possibility, ability, permission and obligation, and they do not change their forms according to the number and person of the subject. So they are always followed by the present form of the verb, means first form of the verb. So see, these are the verbs which are used with main verbs. Like these modal auxiliaries are can, must, could, would, etc. These verbs are used to express ideas like the possibility, permission, necessity, obligation, etc. Then modal verbs have only one form. These verbs don't add s or es to the third person singular form. Modal verbs are followed by the infinitive of another verb without to. The verbs in question are used without doing or do or did in the past. And the negative sentence is formed by using the word not. For example, one should care for the elders, or he cannot cross the road. Main modal verbs are can, could, may, might, must, shall, will, should, ought to, and would. Today in this lecture, we shall discuss the usage of can, could, may, might, and must. So let us begin with can. Can is one of the most commonly used modals in English. Can means be able to or know how to. And it can express ideas such as capacity or ability, permission, possibility, or request. Means can is used to express power and ability. For example, as it is given, she can speak French, means she is able to speak French. Or I can speak English. I can lift 50 kg weight, means I have the capacity to lift 50 kg weight. Another use of can is to grant permission. For example, he can come in now, or he can do as he likes, or you can sleep here. Next use of can is that it is used to express request. For example, can you lend me your pen please? Then next use of can is that it shows possibility. Like one example is given, you can get into trouble for teasing others. So there is the possibility of getting into trouble. Or one more example can be written like anyone can solve this problem. So there is a possibility of solving this problem by anyone. So these are the main uses of can. Means can is used to express ability, possibility, permission and request. Now let us discuss next modal auxiliary, that is the past of can, could. Could expresses possibility, past ability as well as suggestions and polite request. Means in an indirect speech, could is used as past tense of can, and could is used to express power and ability in the past tense. And it also expresses possibility but in the past tense. For example, extreme rain could cause the river to flood the city. And in past ability, one more example is given here. John could run very fast when he was younger. Means if I have to say this sentence in present, then I will say John can run very fast. Means at present he has the ability of running very fast. But if we have to express his past ability, there we use could. Next use, for suggestion it is used. We could go to an ice cream parlor or stay home and watch a movie. So this is a kind of suggestion. For suggestion also we use could. Next is, could I use your cell phone for a moment? So could is used for polite request. There can be some more examples like, could you tell me the time please? Could you show me your pen? So these sentences are of polite request. Then next, could I bring my puppy along? This is permission. Means could is also used for permission. Now let us move to next modal auxiliary. Next is may. It is most commonly used to express possibility. It can also be used to give or ask for permission and to express wish or prayer. Means may is used to seek or grant permission in formal manner. Like, may I use your car? May I come in, ma'am? So this is used for seeking or granting permission in formal manner. One example is given here for possibility. It is used to express possibility. Maria may be at school or at home. This is possible. This may be possible. Or we can write, you may not reach the station in time, or it may rain today. Next example, may he leave the room with me? Here it is a formal permission. Then next example is of giving permission in a formal manner. Yes, he may leave the room with you. Then next use of may to express prayer or wish. may God bless you, or may his soul rest in peace. So mainly may is used to express possibility or wish or prayer, and it is also used to seek or grant permission in formal manner. Next modal auxiliary is might. It is more commonly used to indicate possibility, but it expresses lesser possibility. However, it can also be used to make suggestions or requests. This is a rare use though. It is also used to express the past tense of may in reported speech. Means the first use of might is that it is past tense, past form of may. In reported speech, we can say that he told me that he might help me. In reported speech from may, it is changed, may is changed into might. Then it is used to express purpose in past tense. Like he ran fast so that he might catch the train. And it actually expresses remote possibility, means very less possibility. Like the sky is clear now, but it might rain. Means there is very less possibility, very remote possibility of raining. Here are some examples. It is used to express possibility. Your backpack might be under the desk. So there is a possibility of this. Next example, you might go to the Bodo Roma during your visit. This is a kind of suggestion. It also expresses suggestion. Then next is request. Might I open the door? This is a request. Next is the example of past tense of may. She said he might go to hell for what he did to her. So might is mainly used to express remote possibility, to express purpose, to express possibility or permission. And one thing I can add here, that is may and might both express possibility. Already we have read in the usage of may. But might expresses slight possibility, whereas may expresses more possibility than might. This is very important. Next modal auxiliary is must. It can be used to talk about certainty. That is something you are almost sure is true. Moreover, it can be used to talk about obligation, prohibition, necessity, or strong recommendation. Means must is used to express necessity, obligation, compulsion, and it is also used to express possibility. It is also used to express logical necessity or lawful or moral duty. It also expresses determination. Here are some examples. First example, she must be sick, she never gets late to school. So this is for probability. Students must pass an entrance examination to study at this school. So it is the example of necessity. And in necessity we can add I must go now. This is also an example of necessity. Next is you must drink a lot of water to protect your voice. It is Strong recommendation. For this also we use must. Next example, Sarah, you must always do your homework. Here it is showing obligation. In obligation, one more example. We have taken rest now. We must begin our work. So, we can conclude that must is used to express necessity, obligation, compulsion, possibility, logical necessity, moral duties, to express determination, recommendation, and to express prohibition. So this is all about must. So in this lecture today we have done these modal verbs. Here is a table. See, type, modal verb, and then examples. First of all, ability. In ability we have done, can, could, be able to. Then in permission we have can, could, may. In possibility, might, may, could, can means can, could, may, might express possibility. Then next is must. It expresses prohibition, compulsion, or necessity. Here are some examples. Let us begin with the examples of ability. David can speak 3 languages. Means David is able to speak 3 languages. It is his capability, his ability. Next, he could speak fluent French. So this is also expressing ability but past ability. Then next, for permission, can I sit in that chair please? This is also used here. Can is used here for permission. Could is used. Once again, could I open the window? This is a polite request. The next is may. May I borrow your dictionary? May is used for seeking permission in formal manner. And can is used for informal manner. Next is possibility. For possibility we use may, might, can, could. So examples. It look nice but it might be very expensive. Next, Richard may be coming to see us tomorrow. So there is possibility of coming. Next is must. It expresses prohibition, compulsion, and necessity. Examples. Students must submit the form before the last week of May. So here is a compulsion. Next example. You must sign the visitor book. So this is very necessary. So it shows necessity. So today we have completed these modal auxiliaries. Now let us move to your homework. Your homework is to read the rules of all modal auxiliaries thoroughly that we have done today. So today we have completed can, could, may, might, and must. Now let us discuss homework solution of lecture 1 of poem 4, How to Tell Wild Animals, that is written by Carolyn Wells. So this is class 10th subject English and this is poem 4, How to Tell Wild Animals. Question 1 was, how does the poet suggest that you identify the lion and the tiger? When can you do so according to him? So the answer is, the poet differentiates between the two in the following manner. He says that if the beast is of yellow-brown color, that is tawny color, and it roars out so fiercely that you may die out of fear, then this is an Asian lion. Whereas if the animal has black stripes on yellow background of the skin and he attacks to kill you, then it is a Bengal tiger. So this is the difference between Asian lion and Bengal tiger. Question number 2 is, do you think the word leapt and leap in the third stanzas are spelled correctly? Why does the poet spell them like this? The words leapt and lap have not been spelled correctly. This we know. It is actually a poetic device known as poetic license, which we have already discussed in the explanation of the stanza. So here this poetic license is used by the poet to lay emphasis on the actions of the leopard and to maintain the rhythm of the poem. Question number 3. Look at the line, a novice might non plus. How would you write this correctly? Why is the poet's incorrect line better in the poem? The correct order of the sentence is, a novice might be nonplussed. The poet wrote it in order to bring rhyme to her poem. Nonplus rhymes with does. That's why the poet has written this sentence in such a manner. Question number 4 is, read the passage and answer the question. This passage was given to you, though to distinguish beasts of prey, a novice might nonplus, the crocodile you always may tell from the hyena does. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. So first question is, a novice would get confused to differentiate the dash. The answer is crocodile and hyena. Then question B, the crocodiles are identified in the forest by their dash. So the answer is tears or weeping. Question C, which word in the extract means the same in this as in this manner? So the answer is does. Does means in this manner. Then next question, whose smile is merry? So here the answer is hyenas. Hyena's smile is merry. So this is the answer of this extract. Now let us move to next question. Question number 5 is, what features of a bear are described in the poem? In this poem we have read about different wild animals, in which we have also read about a bear. So here we have to write the features of a bear described in this poem. So the answer is, the bear hugs him tightly when he sees a human being. It clasps its prey tightly with both its forepaws and brings him to death. It again holds it tightly, finally killing him. So this is the way of a bear to kill its prey. So I hope you all have understood all the answers. So you are supposed to write all the answers in your English notebook. If you like our videos, please press the like button and subscribe our channel. Thank you.